Hi, welcome to another episode from the far country, Tall Tales and True. This is the strange story of radical enchantment and worldwide recognition. Barbara McLintock was a woman who was highly qualified in genetics in the 1920s. Most people would not even heard of the word genetics then, because it was such a new and strange subject. In fact, it was invented as a word in the 1880s. Now, Barbara McLintock did a lot of original research. She lived purely for her life as a scientist, but unfortunately, she wasn't all that well received. A member of the Nobel Prize Committee even said in 1951 that the trouble was that only about 5 people in the world could know what she was talking about. So she had long been considered as an exceptional mind, a world-class talent and thinker, but only by a very few. Now, over the next few decades, the whole field of genetics began to open up, and as this happened, more and more did people realize that Miss McLintock was an outstanding pioneer. Thus it came about 3 decades after the first consideration for a Nobel Prize. In 1981, the unthinkable happened. Miss Barbara McLintock became the 3rd woman recipient in the history of the Nobel Prize. She was 81 years old. The New York Times carried a photo of her. The inimitable Alistair Cook wrote of a sweet old lady with a face like an apple wearing granny glasses. That's quoted from Letters from America. He tried to guess who it might be, what this photo was all about. The truth was stranger than fiction. Barbara McLintock had no idea she had been awarded the Nobel Prize for her work decades before on genetics. She heard it on the radio. She didn't receive a telephone call. She had to be contacted face to face. The keen reporter told her that she had won, in the money of the time, $190,000 along with the award. Well, it's a lovely story of doing something with all one's heart and getting the worldwide recognition. But for theological students, there has to be a bit more. Well, in this instance, it turns out to be a lot more. Way back in the 20s and 30s, Miss McLintock conducted intentional prayer and meditative or thought experiments. She attempted, in the most unscientific ways, to see, to experience the life of atoms and molecules. She learnt to love them. She put her mind into the genetic structures. This is not recorded in the official histories on the Nobel website. It was completely unscientific. Inexplicably, Barbara McLintock's deepest research was done with the same sense of mystical experience that went with the first church, breaking bread together and experiencing the risen Christ. The more she loved this inscape, the more she saw. She saw what was only revealed by technologies that were built decades later. She saw in her mind's eye what couldn't be seen until the discovery of DNA. It was all done by the power of love and imagination. I'm sure that a halfway decent church and theological education offers participants a chance for adventure like Miss McLintock's adventure of the mind and heart. That's our core business. I'm David Bell from kiwiconnexion.nz. Do subscribe, like and share on YouTube and on Facebook. Look out for another episode in Far Country Tales coming soon. And thanks for watching.